Hi. So, I want to share two thoughts with you today. So, I was just thinking about the impact of 5G technology that is going to come in. So, some people are of the view that 5G is an upgrade. It's an upgrade from 4G. It is not really a new capability, it is the same capability with an upgrade. But I think it is an update. I agree with that. But it is a critical update to the 4G functionality. And the criticality of the update is the core part of the network, that is speed and reliability and latency. So, how that is going to change things? How is that going to bring in new value propositions? Or how is it going to disrupt the world that we know? So, one of the ways that I think is going to happen is we are probably going to be seeing a lot of more virtual networks. So we did see in the past that there were networks like Virgin network that used to work with Airtel, and they were a virtual network provider in the sense that they never had their own towers, they never had their own spectrum. They used the spectrum of their host provider, and then they offered their services to the customers. One of the reasons that they failed was because the quality was always subpar to the host network provider on which they were basing their services on, and their costs were artificially lowered by putting funds into them, because the base cost was always incurred because it was paid to the underlying operator. So because of these two reasons, one is the cost and one is the performance, the virtual network operators had an disadvantage on both of these fronts, and then they could not flourish. Now, with 5G, what is going to happen is, because there is an ample amount of speed that is available, and also because in the same network, the density of the network has increased. So, a lot more connections can be made in a given area. What that means is the difference of cost that was there earlier and now is drastically reduced. Now the network and the data is going to be very cheap. So now what is going to matter more is the services that are built on top of that network, and 5G is giving you a lot of capabilities to build unique capabilities on top of the base network. So I do see a lot of virtual network operators coming in. Secondly, another transformation that is probably going to happen is network as a service, if you can call that. So what I mean by that is, if you see the way our data centers have moved to a professionally managed data center, all the crowd. So no more the companies are managing their own data centers. The data centers are being managed by either some professional company, or they are being simply shifted to the cloud. The computation is simply being shifted to the cloud. But the same has not happened with the network that is there within an organization. The network is still managed by a company's IT, and the IT networks and the IT policy that the company has got. So, and that's a pretty expensive affair. A lot of IT people are there just to do this mundane task. Now, what 5G can do is, because of again the density of the network that can be there, and because of the high amount of speed, the broadband that is there, and the low latency, we can have a network which is in which the company need not have any of its own hardware that it owns. It can directly use the hardware or the network provided by the operator, the network service provider. It can directly use those the network service provider, if required, and if he sees a value in the business, he will install. If you've got a big campus, he will install his own equipment within your campus. If your campus is small, he can probably cater to it by the existing tower that he has got in the vicinity. In either case, he will give you network as a service. So all your machines will directly connect to his network. They will be intra-networked also through the network of the ISP, and you will have your own policies that will be implemented by that ISP. Even the policy setting will be much more easier. So he can have policies in which he will have pre-built settings of typical policies that are used by companies with, so you can just go and you can just choose which all policies you want, and your network is up and running in no time. New network addition or servicing customers are all done by the ISP in a centralized way, which will be a lot of reduced cost for the ISP as well as for the companies. So these two things I just wanted to share with you all are probably things that are going to change the world around us because of 5G. So we should not be looking at 5G as just an upgrade of technology, but probably a, though it is an upgrade, but probably a upgrade that is going to create totally new use cases, because it solves the key underlying problem of the network, that is speed and latency. Thank you.